you're doing high level adult crime.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And making a huge profit. Like 100,000 at 15 years old in 1987 is like $1 million now.
That's a fact.
So you're already what we call hood rich at 15. The building gets shut down. So you just move it over to home.
Now we're going to the west side.
Now you're going back home, 107th. Okay, so.
But we already caught the body, which was what you was asking.
Yeah, go ahead. Can you?
Because what happened was Micah got killed.
Yeah.
The person that we started buying the coke from, that had the good coke, had a lieutenant, a worker that he trusted, that he gave him a little bit of authority to make decisions. And that guy took the chance on us and gave us a brick of cocaine on consignment. So the fact that he took the chance on us, we was aware of that. So we appreciated that. Yeah. So we was making, all of us was making money. Now, before we started working with them, they had put out a hit. That little organization put out a hit on what people know as Sammy Santana.
Who's that?
One of the bodies, the first body that we got. So they put out a hit on him. The people came, he didn't die. They shot him up, but he didn't die. So these people are petrified. They know he's coming back with a vengeance. He was known to be supposedly one of the henchmen for a guy named Calderon from the Bronx that was extorting people on Brooks Avenue and all of that. He was charging rent out there. So that was a big feat because that's a big violent neighborhood. So for you to charge rent over there, you really had to be extremely violent. You understand what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
He was supposedly one of the henchmen. I don't know how true it is. That's what people would say. So now they, like when this dude come out, they know he's coming. So they scared. So they trying to get somebody to clean up the act. Being that we ran with Maka is known for being a gun boy and all of that. They already thought that we had participated and we didn't say that we did it. So when they asked us if we could fix that situation for them, we were like, yeah. But we was walking them, you know what I'm saying? Until the dude said something that made us feel like now we have to really expedite this. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's going to affect us. The dude used to go to school with my mother. Now think about this real quick before I say that. Imagine you in the 8th grade. And I'm pretty sure you know female classmates there that you used to bug out with and joke with or whatever, y'all was cool. And so picture that girl and think about that. In the future, 5 years later, she's going to have a kid that down the road is going to be responsible for your murder. That's kind of ill, right, when you think about it like that. So yeah, this dude felt that, I guess he thought he was doing the right thing. And he told my mother, which was his classmate at one point, and he knew, listen, your son is hanging out with these people that did this to me. Everybody know they did that to me, and everybody know that I'm coming. If your son happens to be there when I come, he's leaving too. He could have just said, yo, tell your son to stay away from them because, bro, I felt offended. So that's when I was like, you know what? Nah, we're going to push the button on this situation. So one of the guys that we had with us, and that was his calling. He wanted to be a shooter. This was your opportunity to see if you were the shooter. Even though he had caught something before that wasn't confirmed, but all right, perform. And that was the first body that we participated in the hood. Like, you know, we just planned it out. Like, oh, I'm going to be here with the bike. I'm going to pull the car right here. You hit him from here. You pass it right here, and et cetera. So, and
it was a success. You killed him.
Yeah.
Where was it?
What did the body happen?
Where'd the hit go down?
In front of a barbershop between 109th and 108th and Amsterdam Avenue.
So that must have really rocked the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! That was they had not seen something like that. Not saying that people haven't gotten killed, but it just probably happened that they was gunning for this dude and they happened to catch him in our vicinity. It wasn't a domestic body, as so to speak. It wasn't something that was in-house like, oh, we know who did this and this is, you know what I mean?
It's like an organized crime hit. That's like assassination.
Type.
Did your mom know it was you or your crew?
Afterwards, I mean, not immediately, like, but after hearing the rumors and yeah.
Okay, so, and it's pretty obvious when there's a domestic hit in the neighborhood by a group of dudes that even though nobody can confirm it, everybody talks, everybody knows.
Yeah. Everybody more or less know. Wow. I mean, that hit was in broad daylight too.
Jeez.
So it wasn't like we was really hiding. It wasn't no mask and none of that. It was just, I know you was here. You know that I was here, so shut up. But nobody was really trying to talk anyway. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So we went years.
So now you guys are like official.
Yeah, but now mind you, that body happened while we were still on the east side. So now when the east side got shut down, when we came back to the west side, it wasn't a problem for us to go shopping for real estate over there. You understand what I'm saying? We was just looking for somewhere that was going to be beneficial. But since we used to hustle on 105th, like that's where when we was freelancing crack before we got down with market, everybody was more or less between 104 and 106 in Columbus, up and down that little strip. So I would go out there, we would buy work, a half an eighth, 62 grand, me and Chang, and we would take turns pitching the bundle. Like I'll pitch a bundle, he look out, and then he'll pitch a bundle, and when we finish all the work, then we split the proceeds and, you know, re-up, et cetera, et cetera. So we was doing that. And then market came in the picture. But in the course of market coming in the picture, there was some guy in the neighborhood that used to be hustling also. There's a bunch of people hustling, but these is guys that grew up here. The majority was immigrants, Hicks, that came from DR, et cetera. They were the majority hustling up and down the strip. And you had a few people from the neighborhood that was hustling, you know what I mean? So
right. But it was basically these small little freelance groups.
Yeah, freelance. Every time about it, you know what I mean? Freelance. So now in the course of market, putting it under the wing, you got a guy from there that's coming up with a bright idea as he's gonna shut down all the Dominicans and they're gonna take one of the abandoned buildings and they're gonna open up there and they're gonna control the neighborhood like that, and that's it. And the crew is gonna be the only one out there, which is the birth of Purple.
Right.
I don't know if you heard of it before.
And that was your competition, right?
Yeah, they was the competition. At first, they wanted to recruit us. We was like, not working for you, even because everybody's older than us. We're competing with people that's 7, 8 years older than us. You got to understand that. While I'm outside at 14, these people is 21, 20. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So I'm competing with that.
Yeah.
So these guys are like, yo, we're going to put you to work. We're like, not working for you, bro. Like, you bugging out. Then Market comes in the picture. We hang out with Market. Then Market gets killed. We back to selling drugs. We in the east side. They over there. They made their spot Purple. They cleaned everything up, and they got a thriving spot. Now, when the building shuts, we go back. One of my co-defendants, he goes, when we go back there, we go right back to 105th. Disregard that they just cleaned that up. He puts a grand opening sign from the supermarket, from one tree to the light pole, and we just sat there with a milk crate and was like, we open. So the dudes is looking at like, oh, this is about to go crazy right now. So when the owner of the spot came, he pulled me to the side. He's not no sucker. He ain't soft. He just understood that this is not going to be good for nobody. We're going to lose more than we win. Even if I win or get you or you get, there's no win. So he's telling me, listen, bro, it's not fair that y'all did this. Y'all already know that we established this shit. Y'all could go anywhere else. I'm a reasonable dude. I know how to see how they, you know. So I'm like, you know what? You're right. So we're going to go to 107. And we went to the 107.
And what building did you select and why? What the first spot?
We just went on the streets at nighttime next to the building. And then after that, like within probably like 2 weeks, we were already inside the building, the abandoned building, which then fell. And even going into that, people try to give us some type of resistance. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you can't hustle here. We're like, you bugging. I'm not trying to hear that shit. I remember coming down with a sort of shotgun sitting on that like if it was a chair on the corner. Like, tell me who said I can't work out here? Bugging. I went to this school. My mom happened to have an apartment here now. Like, can't tell me none of that, which is not the same excuse that I'm going to accept, because when dudes tell me, oh, I live there, I say, go get your lease and show me where it say you can sell crack on that shit. You know what I'm saying? You could live up there and sleep, but you can't sell no crack out here.
So how did you consolidate all of that into the building, did you have to shoot anybody else, or was your work so well marketed and so good, meaning the quality of the crack was so good, you just took everybody's customers?
Now, because at that time they were selling $10 bottles because it was just coming down from a drought.
Mm-hmm.
So when the drought comes, the work gets more expensive. Of course, well, we probably sold at 5, they selling at 10. But when the drought finishes, people try to still keep that extra 10, because the customer don't know when the drought went out, but we do. So we f***ed everybody's price up and started selling for $5 what they were selling for 10. That automatically brought a crowd to us. You understand what I'm saying? And no, I'm lying. That wasn't the first. We did buy one, get ones. And that brought the crowd to us. And when they seen what it was, and the fact that we were so consistent, like you could come there and that you're gonna find the spot open, versus you coming from over there and homeboy might be there or not. Yeah. So that was another thing. You could walk from wherever comfortably knowing that when you get there, you're gonna be able to make a purchase. It's gonna be good work. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna get robbed. Yeah. So that's what basically distinguished us. Even when we was doing war, like when we had war with other crews, they can't f with it because we're in an abandoned building, we on a hill. We're gonna continue to hustle while we shooting up your block, and your workers don't wanna be out there no more because who wanna get shot? They don't got the same type of protection that we had. So that was another thing that kept us strong in the hood.
So it probably didn't take long.
As far as what?
Getting all the customers, because you're under.
Nah, immediately. Once they seen the buy one, get one, and they came, and then they realized that it was good work, then you start getting people from all types. Because what happens is we wholesaling to the hood at a minuscule level. Mm-hmm. So you got people from downtown coming uptown, buying our work and taking it downtown and selling it for $5, $10. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? So not only are we getting those that are using it, we getting people that making money off this.
Buying $3 bottles uptown and going downtown and selling them for $5,
10. But I would say 10, but to be safe, 5. They still making money. So they coming up buying 200-300 bottles minimum. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? They reing up.
Okay, so what did that flow look like? What is an average day in just that building? If you were making, $100,000 in 3 months on the east side in that SRO building, what is 1 week? What does 1 day and 1 week look like on 107th Street for you guys?
It's not that I made $100,000 in 3 months. I saved up $100,000 after fucking up a lot of money.
Right. Okay.
Because the problem with us is not making money, is the money management. Usually that's the problem with the majority of us. We don't have financial literacy. You understand what I'm saying? So if you don't have someone that do, you're just gonna be money up. You understand? So the West Side, that particular, because in a day we could probably push 4 or 5 bricks throughout the neighborhood in different things. But that main spot, we was doing at least 2 bricks a week just there bottled up. You understand? So that's looking like 250, 300 grams just in that spot bottled up daily. At the worst case scenario, we doing a key a week. But that's still a $20,000, $21,000 profit after paying the table, the pitcher.
And that key 1,000 grams is broken down. How many bottles of crack is that? Like Chango said, like 30 to 40,000, right?
Depending on what you're selling. When we were selling deuces, I'm asking for 20,000 bottles back, but they bagging up 22,000. But that was that we used to let them keep their little extras, something like what Maka did with us. So besides getting paid for bagging up, you can also keep the extras. You understand what I'm saying? So there you go. You got 2,000 bottles to split up amongst y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And like that. So and that particular, then it might be something that we're doing bigger. So it all depends what the price range is of what we're selling at that moment to determine how many bottles or whatever we bag up. And
so now you got one spot moving, one abandoned building. When did you get your next piece of property?
See, all our other property came about, it was already there. And we just switched suppliers. You dig? So we was the first young group to come outside. After us, there was other young groups that came out. We opened it up. We turned the hood out, as they say. We started a whole different type of situation where now young kids is out there hustling and people is starting to accept it. It's becoming conventional now.
So you got one building rocking. How do you expand from there?
Okay, so what happened was, like I said, kids started coming out and hustling afterwards. Now, what they doing is searching for little real estate. There was little pockets in the neighborhood that we really didn't pay attention to. This particular situation that happened when we took over most of the the neighborhood with the crack, the building collapsed, the abandoned building collapsed. When the police got tired of dealing with the building because they couldn't get us, you know what I'm saying? They tried quite a few times to get us and they never could. So their last solution was to put cinder blocks through all the windows and seal up the building. All right, cool. We just told the workers, leave this window open, that window open, boom, 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 and we paid them. So we still had access to the building. They kind of fortified it for us, if anything. Now, the weight of them cinder blocks, nobody took them into account. Now, they put all these windows, brand new cinder block. This building been there for over 10 years, abandoned, just holding the ceiling and all that, being rained on and all of that. This wood is
eroding.
I know that in hindsight. Back then, I'm not thinking. So luckily, we used to work from 6 o'clock in the evening to 6 in the morning. We didn't like working in the daytime because that's when all the police and all the sales come down. So we used to push everybody else to the daytime. You could hustle in the daytime. At nighttime, when we come out, everybody shut down. And whatever other spots that was out there, like I told you, you had to sell for $3 if I was selling at $2. Okay, cool.
Interesting. So you let the independent dealers hustle during the day as long as they sold for higher.
No, in the day, you could sell for whatever you want.
Okay, I see.
The night was prime time.
Right.
That's where people want to be at. You could hide in the darkness. You understand what I'm saying? You could see police coming in.
Right.
Like that.
And you have more users out because it's coke. It's a nighttime drug.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that too. But, you know,
crackheads are always getting high.
And whenever they trying to get high.
That's so interesting. So you guys actually allowed people from outside of the crew to get money during the day, take the risk, keep the customers in the neighborhood. So keep it as a crack strip. But then at night, we're going to take the real money.
I mean, I didn't even look at it like that, but it makes a lot of sense the way you put it.
I would have been great at crack dealing. Anyways,
I mean, we didn't do it with that design. What happened was the day was riskier.
Yeah,
that's when they do the sales. That's when the police is out. You don't know. You know, there's more people outside, so you can't see nobody really coming. At nighttime is only the dealer and the crackhead and the people from the neighborhood. So we was able to determine everybody walking.
These cinder blocks, though. So
the building drops at almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which was what saved us, because if it would have dropped at 6:30, 6:40, it would have killed whoever was in there.
Wow.
So half of the building dropped, half of the building stood up. Like, when you could look at that and you see the bathtub hanging where this floor fell and this is still there waiting and all of that.
Wow.
So that's what happened. So it became a hazard.
Yeah.
Until they knocked all that down. In the course of the building dropping, it was one of them times that we had got some bad work. So now the customers are complaining from the work. The building drops. It becomes a hazard. They park 2 cop cars there. One on the block, one on the Ave, to make sure nobody walks in there, because you could get hurt. This building could collapse. So they want everybody to stay away. So now what's happening with our customers? They're not trying to come. First, the work is bad, plus the block is hot. So we really losing money. You understand what I'm saying? We're not making no money. And that right there, these kids down the block start selling crack in baggies. 12, those little weed bags, but the tiny one, that was new. The customers fell in love with that packaging. It was easier to stash. I guess it seemed like it was more in there than before. They just fell in love with that packaging. So the bottle that you knew, like the tops and the valve, that was like becoming obsolete.
Really?
Yeah. So being that these kids introduced that, the whole wave is like they just hit the gold wave. So they getting mad money right behind us between Manhattan Avenue and Central Park. They got all these kids that's down there, like 8, 9 different colors, doing numbers with all our customers and all of that. And everybody else that's hearing about this new packaging, they killing them. They start buying mad guns. But we're dealing with this situation up here, plus we're going to war with Red Top also at the same time. So we got bad work, police on the block, and an active war that's going on. Because we chasing out these dudes from a block next door to us. But I'm like, all right, don't worry, I'm gonna go handle that down there. Because now they buying guns, they shooting it up. When we walk down there, like to the store, they yelling, they color out more than they have to, but it's like letting us know that they out there. Like, that's just a disrespect. You think I'm a crackhead, you yelling out your... But we like, all right, we're gonna go, we're gonna handle that when the time comes. Sure enough, the building got cleared. I took their packaging.
How did the building get cleared?
They cleared it out. They demolished the rest of it, which is now a garden.
Okay.
They demolished it. They cleared it out. It wasn't no more risk factor. Now we just had to find a way how we're gonna sell our drugs now. Which we just took another building. The kids down the block. Now we took their packaging idea. They were selling it for $5. Now we selling it for $3. You can't sell it for $3. I don't give a f. So now we took all our customers back.
Using those 1212s?
Yeah.
Those little baggies?
Yeah, I just found a way to bag it up. Wow. We're going to make, if you're making, let's say, for example, if you're making $400 off an ounce, we're going to make $200. But we're going to sell triple the amount of ounces that you sell. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to make up for it in the volume. You know what I'm saying? So I happened to get sick too, right? In that whole course, and I stood down. So in the course of me staying down, I was a big fan of old school mafia movies. So I'm looking at Mobsters with Lucky Luciano, Meyer Lansky, and how they came about and put the 5 families together. I don't know if you're familiar with that movie. So I basically did a mobster move with them. Went down the block, took them over to Central Park. Yo, come on, let's go. I was smoking weed now at this time. This is already 18 years old. Yo, let me holler at y'all. Go to the park and basically give them a deal that they couldn't refuse. I was like, listen, y'all out here hustling. Y'all buying work from the Hicks. The Hicks don't give a fuck about y'all. Y'all just a customer. I'm going to give y'all the same work on consignment for the same price, or maybe a point higher, but at least with me, y'all just with somebody that y'all got a team. If you don't take the work, then that means that you don't like me. That means that you're going to let somebody walk past you up the block to do something to us, even if you overheard them saying it. So you can't be around here anyway. So who's down with us? Everybody was down. All right, cool. Just let me know what you could do in 3 days. I don't give a fuck if it's 1 gram. Calculate what you could do in 3 days, because in 3 days, I want my money. And that's how it was. Every 3 days, I go down the block, everybody dispersed, bring me back my money. And that's how those blocks started coming around. And then
I see.
If usually these blocks that we was controlling, I wasn't really making money. I just was putting my people in position. Like, oh, you want to do that? Go take that block. And they'll go over there and be like, yo, they said that we could do this. Boom. And they'll splat. And then that's how, and then I'll give you work eventually. But it wasn't like I was making a bunch of profit. We was generating money. Don't get me wrong. I made money off it, but I was letting my peoples eat.
I see. So you were kind of giving them wholesale work, like the crews, not directly on your strip, but around it. You were giving them wholesale off of your pack.
Yes.
And were you giving them already crack cooked up?
No.
Wait. You're giving them powder.
Powder. What
how
you
much,
could sell.
How much would
Whatever
you give
they
these
could
crews?
sell. If you could sell a half a key in 3 days, I'll give you half a key. If you could sell 100 grand, if you could sell 10 grand, just make sure you calculate and let me know what you could do in 3 days, because in 3 days I want my money.
Oh, interesting. So you guys had your whole $1 million crack operation, but you're also moving bricks, chipping off blocks. Yeah. So you were running through a lot of keys too.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
At the end, because we wasn't never really on that weight. But once I did that move, and it wasn't like we was just wholesaling to everybody. We was just wholesaling to those people in our neighborhood, in our
vicinity.
Yeah, like our turf. You know what I'm saying? Whatever because we controlled from 106 to 110, from Central Park West to Riverside Drive, whatever had to do with crack, we had something to say. From 106 down to 100th Street over there, that was Purple and shit like that. And then the guy did a project. But then we had Amsterdam, 105th and 4th and 3rd, which was Red Top. But then after Jose Luis and Trimblin was murdered, we took the block. So we had that area also. So we had like basically from 103rd in Amsterdam going all the way into our neighborhood. And then when it crossed 106th, we had the 5 avenues running back and forth like that.
How many crack crews do you think existed in New York at this time like that? Hundreds?
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. This is a very familiar story. The only difference is, besides that we were so publicized, is that we were so young doing this. Usually we had young dudes selling drugs, but they was part of an organization. You never really had young dudes running the organization. It's funny because, there was a kid that came up and he was explaining himself to me. Like, yo, this, and that. He just wanted to make sure that I understood that he didn't mean no disrespect, even though I wasn't thinking about that. But once he spent off, one of my co-defendants that was there, that he was like he's one of the shooters. But now we older, but there's a lot of us that's still around. If we go uptown, you'll see. But he's like, yo, T, what old timers did we give that type of respect to that we looked up to? I'm like, I don't mock it, but he's like, nah, but I'm saying from out here. I said, bro, the old timers was asking us for permission to do like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
We didn't really have that opportunity because they was coming to us to get our blessings on what they wanted to do, So
is that because you guys had the bodies on you, or you
hell yeah. We had the body, we had the money, we was very.
Well, you carried yourself in a certain way too.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
sure.
a fact.
Wow. So you were 15. What years are these before you guys fell? 15 years old to how old?
At 15, in 89, I was 15. In 90, I was 16. In 94, we went to jail.
Right. So what do you think the height was? What do you think, looking back, what year was like the golden year?
Every year had its moment. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, you familiar with Fat Joe?
Of course.
Like they say, like every summer he's good for a hit. So we kind of had a hit every year. Right. Like we always had a moment of that was memorable. Like, right. You know what I mean? If you're talking about 90 when we went to the East Side, it was memorable. We was making money that we never imagined. We put $100,000 together each at that age. You know what I'm saying? We made way more, but to stack that, the first 100 that we stacked up was like, oh, $100,000.
Right.
So,
do you remember when you made your first million?
Well, we made our first million when that 100,000. You understand? But to stack it up, a whole million for me, we spending too much money on lawyers and guns and cars and mistakes. So, but at any given moment, we had $200,000-$300,000. You know what I'm saying? And if we really needed the million, we knew what we had to do. Just buckle down for a month or so or two. Or, you know what I'm saying? And just stack everything. But I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, I had 10 million in the closet. And no. We ran through a bunch of millions though. But gotta remember, we was kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So we don't even know how to spend this money. We don't know how to buy a car. We don't know how to do. So we just spending money and giving money to our friends. And we was losing like, in the East Side, we was losing like $2,000 a day in shorts.
Shorts?
Yeah, like, yo, what happened? $2,000 is missing. I don't know. I think this is that. And we didn't give a
Right.
We was like, all right, next time you got to make sure. But damn near between $1,000, $2,000 daily.
Yeah. Off the books. That's the cost of doing business. Someone's always pocketing, I'm sure you had workers that pocketed 10 here, 10 there.
Yeah.
That adds up.
Yeah, in a way that we didn't feel it. And we actually factor it in. Like they factor in 10% loss in a store, like, you know what I'm saying?
Did you see the crack demand decline at all?
Hell no. I heard about that after I was locked up.
Okay. So up until 94, it just was busy.
Booming.
Do you remember one particular year that was the busiest? Or was it just, was it a matter of how long you wanted to be out there working? It was never a matter of demand.
I mean, you had fluctuations, right? Because, again, somebody might open up with some coke that's a little bit better than mine, or has a gimmick that's a little bit better than mine, and they might just take the flock for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So you have those moments, but every year we was making money.